Hello, I'm Brett Robin Wood, and I write songs that explore how we live in the world and how we might. I hope you're having a wonderfully human experience wherever you are today. It's just after Easter in my part of the world, and this Easter I pulled out a song that I started writing many years ago on Easter and then forgot about for years, and then I just popped into my heart and mind and I finished it on the Easter theme. It's called The Ditch. Oh, I fell into a ditch again, and you climbed on in to be with me. Oh, I nailed you to a cross again, but that never works for long. You always bring the light into the black, as in my ditch I dig and drill and hack. You help me see the love I fear I lack, then you climb on out with me on your back. And it's so hard to see the forest for the trees through the blur of the many balls I juggle. With psalms of dissent, I'm giving up for Lent my addictive Darwinian struggle. Oh, you're walking the streets again, calling out again, new rags for old. Oh, I'm following you again, I can only stay away for so long. You made a bed from countless lost lives, then you willingly lay down and died. And much to the world's great surprise, you rose up and opened the sky. And when it's hard to see the forest for the trees through the blur of the many balls I juggle, in psalms of ascent I see the way you went, and I'm ready to play my part in your puzzle. So, thank you to Michael Wood for introducing me to the image of the ditch. Thank you to Kathy Matheson, who sent me a homily by Peter Deacon. Thank you, Peter Deacon, for the homily, which quoted Walter Wangerin. Thank you, Walter Wangerin, for the story of the ragman, which comes into that verse. Oh, you're walking the streets again, calling out again, new rags for old. I don't know if you're aware of that story about the ragman. He's walking around, and I see the ragman. He's got all these rags, and he walks around and he calls out, "Oh, new rags for old." And someone's bleeding from a head wound, and they've got this bloody cloth, and he takes it from them and gives them a clean cloth, and that heals them. And he sees someone who's crippled and destitute, and he takes that old coat, and when he gives them a new coat, the person can walk. And he takes an old smelly blanket off someone lying drunk, and he puts a new blanket on, and the drunk person gets up and is renewed. But of course, each time the ragman does this, he takes on what he's just healed. So by the end, he's walking down the street drunk and with one arm and a head wound, and I follow him. The storyteller follows him and comes to this mountain, this hilltop, just full of all these old clothes and rags and things that he's taken off countless lost lives, and he's taken those wounds upon him, and then he lies down on this hill and dies, and the storyteller grieves for this, but then the next morning he sees the ragman alive and renewed, so it's the Jesus story in sort of different clothes, so to speak, and I find it very moving. And so that's my thought for Easter. I don't think I want to delve too much. I just or do I want to delve? Yeah, maybe a tiny bit. Thank you for watching, by the way. If you're still watching, that you've come through, you're with me in this inquiry, and that really means a lot to me. So thank you for joining me in a kind of exploration of, I don't know, what the poetic in song form can spark in us that might give us solace or insight. Who knows, without forcing it too hard, maybe even plays into how we go out into the world. And in this one, I got this image of the many balls I juggle and the Darwinian struggle, and it's the possibility of seeing beyond that to some beautiful place, a fullness of a human being that comes, and strangely comes not through the ascent, but what it does. Jesus ascends, and we can all ascend, but there's the descent first, the crucifixion. This is the uncomfortable part about the message, I suppose. That, I don't know, somehow we have to be broken, and I know that might sound a little bleak. It's not. I don't know. It's not that we all have to suffer, and I know that a lot of some avenues of Christianity have over-indexed on that, and it's become a kind of guilty, we're all sinners, and it's become a repressive force that understandably has turned a lot of people off. I don't think that's what the message is. I think it's not a message of, it's not that the brokenness is somehow a punishment for our sins. I think there's something about the cracking of the facade and the armor we wear. It's sometimes through, I don't know, life throws at us something that shows us the limitations of how we've been living and breaks us somehow. It's painful, but it's ultimately a message of empowerment. That's as much as my little brain can cope with right now, but I hope that's useful for you, and thank you for watching. Feel free to press the like button. It does help the channel, and to share with others who you think might have a leaning to the lyrical and an enjoyment of some conversation about how we live and how we might. Bye.